Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Angela, and this morning I will be talking to you about the eternal waiting period. We had a little segue into my topic when Ken was speaking to you, and he talked about the importance of follow-up. And what I'm going to do is just take you through that follow-up on some things that you want to do once you've had your interview. So you've had an opportunity to view some of our other programs, and you know about assessing your skills and assessing the job market, and also preparing your resume. You've even gotten to the point where you've had an opportunity to interview with a company. So you found that perfect job, you know this is the job for you. What do you do next? You sit around and you wait on the phone to ring, right?
No.
No, that is not what you want to do. You've still got lots of work in front of you to do. You've got a lot of preparing to do to go forward. And this approach that you take at this point is going to be very strategic in helping you to find your next position and to land your next position, because you can have other candidates out there with virtually the same experience and qualifications that you have, but if you put a lot of time and a lot of effort into your follow-up, then that's going to help you land the job. So what I want to do is just give you 5 little tips that you can use in your follow-up strategy. And the first one I'm going to give them to you as questions that you want to ponder on as you're looking for your job. And the first question you want to ponder is, are you following up to say thank you? So you want to say thank you in the form of either a thank you letter, a thank you note card, or a thank you email, whichever medium is most comfortable for you. It's how you want to do it. But when you do say thank you, you want to be sure to address each person who interviewed you, give them a letter and address them by name. And the best way to do this is to get a business card. When you go in and you interview, they don't offer you a business card, then ask for a business card, because that's going to give you all the information that you need. They'll have the correct spelling of their name, they'll have the company's name and address, their email address, their telephone number, and there you have on one little card everything that you're going to need in order to follow up with that particular person. Then you want to show appreciation in your letter. You want to say thank you because you understand that their time is valuable, and you want to let them know that you do appreciate the time that that person has spent with you. In your letter, also state the position that you applied for, the position that you're interested in, because interviewers, they interview many people for many jobs, and you want to refresh their memory on the particular job that you're interested in. And then mention some skills that you have that make you the perfect person for that job. You want to do that in just 1 or 2 sentences. Just say, refresh their memory as what you bring to the job and why you'd be perfect in their organization to help them reach their goals. This next one is very important, and that is to proofread your letter. You do not want to send it out with spelling mistakes or grammatical errors. You want everything to be perfect. You want to give your thank you letter the same consideration and the same time that you gave to your resume and your cover letter. And then lastly, you want to be timely and brief. You want to respond within 24 hours, and you also want to just keep it, if you're doing a letter, just keep your letter to about 1 page. The next question that we want to ponder is, are you following up to ask the status of your candidacy? So when you had your interview, you may have asked the person who interviewed you, when will I hear from you, or when will it be okay for me to call you back? And if you forget to do that, that's okay, but you want to do it within maybe 5 days. You don't want to do it right away, but give it maybe 5 days to a week before you call back to ask about the status of your candidacy, to see if the position is still open, to see where they are and filling that position. But some things you want to keep in mind when you do this is you don't want to appear desperate. You don't want to call before the given timeline. If they said to call back in a week, you don't want to call back in 3 days. You want to wait till that week is up. Don't call back more than once a week unless you've been given instruction to do so. And then lastly, don't give the appearance that this is the only option that you have for a position. Next, you also want to, when you're doing your follow-up, you don't necessarily have to do it as a phone call. This is the same as with when we talked about your thank you letter. It doesn't necessarily have to be a phone call. If you want to, you can also send an email to that particular person. You just want to be professional in your tone and to not seem as if you're desperate. And if you are making a telephone call, you want to kind of time your call. You don't want to call first thing in the morning because people are just getting in and starting their day, or you don't want to call immediately after lunch or towards the end of the day because people tend to be a little bit busy at those times. But whatever you do, you want to be sure to show enthusiasm, to be professional, to be courteous, and be patient. And then the third question you want to ponder is, are you following up to provide new information of interest to the employer? So if you got in your car and you thought, man, I wish I had asked this, I didn't think of this, but now I want to find out, call. This is a good opportunity just to get your name out, just to touch base with that particular person again. And if you have any pertinent personal information that changes since that interview, like your phone number, your email address, what have you, you also want to call and let them know that you had a change in your information. Then the fourth question, what to do when the employer is non-responsive. You've called, you've left messages, you've emailed them, you've done everything but stand out on their doorstep trying to, hunt them down to get an opportunity to talk with them. But you haven't heard anything, so what do? Leave one more positive message and let it go. If they were interested, they would have called you, and if they haven't, and if they're gonna be this rude, you may not wanna work for that company anyway, so just cut your losses and continue on.
How about send pizza?
That was right. It may cost you a lot of money, but you may eventually get a job. And then the last step that I want to go over is what other steps can you take? What else can I do? First off, never place all your eggs in one basket. Even though you interview for that perfect job, you know it's the job for you, they may not feel that way. So continue with your search in the meantime. And then also, when you do have an interview, regardless of whether you get the job or not, ask that person for feedback. Not all interviewers are comfortable giving you feedback, but if they do, then that can give you some information of things that you may want to continue doing when you interview, or some things that you may want to discontinue because they're not very effective. But lastly, I want you to remember that hard work, determination, persistence, and skill, those are the things that are going to land you the job that you want.
Absolutely.
Do we have any questions? Thank you.
All right, good job.